Boomer Sooner, live at Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue. Welcome to the OU Huddle on the Sooner Sports Network from Learfield. Presented by Air Comfort Solutions, your total home solution for plumbing, heating, air conditioning, and electrical. Make the winning call today. Also brought to you by Riverwind Casino. Good times, great rewards. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. And by Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue, bringing you the best in real Texas barbecue. Now, here's the voice of the Sooners, Toby Rowland.
All right, welcome everybody to Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue. It's a Monday night. That means it's time to talk Sooner sports. We're going to have fun here the next couple of hours. Porter Moser going to be alongside Sooner men's basketball coach next hour. The women are actually playing tonight against Auburn, so we'll keep you updated on how they're doing just right across the way at the Lloyd Noble Center. Tennis coach volleyball coach Aaron Mansfield will be here in the next half hour. But off the top here, we're talking baseball. The season opener for the Sooners coming up on Friday afternoon in Norman. And we welcome in head coach of the Sooners, Skip Johnson. How you doing tonight, Coach?
I'm doing great.
Good.
It's chilly outside, but I'm doing great.
It is a little chilly outside. I think we got him maybe on the wrong microphone here for just a second. We'll try that again, but we'll get you dialed in. You ready to roll? Guys ready to go?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we came out of the inter squads early, all healthy, and kind of go from there.
We're gonna trade you microphones here, Coach, right off the top, and see if we can get you into one that works. That's a first inning error on us tonight.
That's all right. It doesn't mess my flat top up, does it?
No, your hair looks just as good as it did when we started. Yeah. Anyway,
hey, you got to learn how to get 4 outs.
That's
if you're
right.
a starting pitcher, you learn how to get 4 outs, learn how to get 5 outs, you know?
I just booted the first ball of the night
That's
right
all right.
there.
That's
so
all right.
that's, we appreciate your patience. Yeah, you excited? Ready to roll on Friday?
I am. I'm excited to see the stadium, and I know the weather's supposed to be bad, not conducive for fans to come out. I hope they come out anyway. Maybe we can get some trash cans burning out there or something, get some heat going or do something. But, I'm excited. Right field that's coming along. Actually went by it today, and it was pretty awesome to look at it. We didn't practice today. You have to give them a day off, so you know how it goes.
Yeah, you're talking about Section 405 out there. Several stadium upgrades this year for year one in the SEC. You got some loge boxes and some drink rails, but I think what everybody's been buzzing about is this Section 405 in right field. I stopped by on the way to the show tonight to see what it's looking like. It is really cool.
Yeah, did you see the windscreen?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Oklahoma baseball on the back with the SEC logo and everything.
Yeah, it was pretty nice.
I think it's going to create a fun atmosphere for
I think it will too.
Fans.
Yeah, I think it will too. It'll kind of get those guys right on top of them and kind of feel kind of like Rosenblatt does. Mm-hmm. Rosenblatt was you're kind of on top of each other in Rosenblatt. I love TV and Ameritrade, but I loved Rosenblatt.
Yeah, a little more personality to Rosenblatt than the new place. Well, I would imagine all coaches wish they had just a little bit more time to get ready for the season, but you don't. It's coming on Friday, so you feel good about the preparation going into this year?
Yeah, I think we're a little behind on the mound a little bit as far as getting in shape. I think that's going to work itself out. Our offense has been really good in inter-squad, which has been really great to see. They get, a lot of people say, if they can score runs, this or that. I mean, they complement each other. A good offense protects a pitching staff. I mean, if you start looking at it, and it's about run scoring. It's not about hitting. It's about being good at base running, being good at bunting, being good at separating balls from strikes, being good at hitting as well. Mm-hmm. And it's about scoring runs. And pitching's about throwing strikes. We got a lot of big arms. Kyson has had a pretty good spring. Malachi's had a great spring. Getting Crossland back over, he was a little tender going into the spring, and getting him back healthy. And then watching Cameron Johnson, watching Ghost and all those guys get back. It's been really fun. Had a few guys step up through the spring and the fall, like Catalano and some freshmen. So it should be good.
Let's start with the offense because everybody has started with your pitching staff this year. And I do get the sense that maybe Reggie and the guys are kind of tired of being overlooked a little bit. Like maybe they are excited to prove to people that they're better than than maybe they're getting credit for in the preseason?
Well, I mean, that's been our baseball program's motto, really. I mean, they pick us 7th last year. We won the Big 12 by, set a record. In 22, they didn't think we'd ever make it, and we made it to the national championship game. So, yeah, I think they get tired of hearing that stuff for sure. But, you can overcome it, and we've overcome. We've achieved a lot of great things since I've been here. And it's not just me. It's about I always call them the invisible guys, because they're invaluable. It's Reggie, it's Todd, it's Russell, it's Britt Bonneau, it's Ryan Gaines, it's Tim Overman, it's Melissa Hampton, it's Tyler Schwalbach. I could go on and on. Tanner, Diego, those guys are invisible. I'm just a bus driver, and I'm out in the open a lot. So, and they're invaluable. They really are, and what they've done and what they've created and helped with a culture that we had a vision for. I envisioned the whole outfield being packed, and last year it was.
Yeah.
I mean, when we drove in last year for the regional, it kind of looked like a flea market because there's tents everywhere, but it was pretty awesome, It
was an incredible atmosphere. Yeah. You have accomplished a lot of great things. One of them is going out of the Big 12 with a bang last year. You won the Big 12 regular season title for the first time ever. What has that done for you? And, just the attitude in the locker room. I would imagine there's been some recruiting ramifications from that as well. But what has winning the Big 12 last year done for your program?
I think solidified really our culture for us as coaches, that we can, take a young man and keep developing and keep growing the sooner way, the way we talk about a good father, a good husband. I mean, getting a phone call during Christmas from Javier Ramos and Levi Prater and tell them that they graduated. I mean, that's more exciting for me as a head coach than winning a baseball game.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but it really is, because I know I've done something to help those guys accomplish something, either me or Ryan Gaines or somebody in our program,
Yeah. Opening segment, by the way, brought to you by Community Coffee. So year one in the SEC, what do you think about the conference and the excitement, the buzz it's created among your fan base?
Well, I think it's great. I mean, that's what I envision. I mean, you look at the SEC, it's a football environment in a baseball arena. I mean, there's going to be smoke pillaring, there's going to be barbecue pits, it's going to be crazy. They throw stuff at you, they spit on you, they do everything. It's a football environment in a baseball arena. And I can just remember this, and I know I'm going to talk my experience. I'll never forget this as long as I live. And A&M was A&M, and I was at the University of Texas, and Coach Garrido got a DWI, so we had a line we had to walk in, and they were side by side, and Coach Garrido's got shorts and flip-flops on, and we're walking in. They're singing 100 bottles of wine on the wall, and I'm thinking, And I don't know, I'm just walking behind them. We never missed a beat, walked in there, threw a one-hitter, and beat them on a Saturday, and the next day threw a one-hitter, and they were gone by the 5th inning,
They are world-class hecklers in the SEC.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
For sure. And the ballparks in that league are incredible. Some of them, 10,000-plus fans will be there, and it's packed. I'm not so sure it's not the second favorite sport in the conference, baseball in the SEC.
I would say it was probably the second sport in the conference. There's no doubt about it. When your commissioner walks in our first meeting, he spends an hour and a half to 2 hours talking about baseball.
Wow.
I think it's pretty important.
Yeah. Well, we'll take a timeout. I want to talk some personnel with you when we come back. You mentioned some guys off the top, some of your hitters, some of your pitchers, some of your new guys. We're hanging out with Skip Johnson, just getting underway here on the Huddle at Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue. Stay with us.
The Huddle is brought to you by Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue, bringing you the best in real Texas barbecue. Walden Cleaners and Laundry, where the difference is quality. Riverwind Casino, good times, great rewards. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. The Trails Golf Club of Norman, where you'll experience everything you love about golf and more.
All right, welcome back across Sooner Radio and SEC Network Plus. We're at Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue here. This segment brought to you by the Riverwind Casino, hanging out with Sooner baseball coach Skip Johnson for another segment here tonight as they get set to open the season this weekend at home at Eldell Mitchell Park against the Lehigh Mountain Hawks. And then it's down to Round Rock in the second weekend of the year. You're going to get quite a test down there, Coach. Some of the top programs in the country you'll meet down there.
Yeah, it'll be a good test for us, going on the road, playing Lehigh here. They have a really good team. They're Friday night guys. I mean, as good as anybody in the country. They're older, so it'll kind of give us a barometer, and then we'll drive down, play UTA on a Wednesday night in Globe Life, and then we'll drive on down to Round Rock and play there. It's always a good event. The peak events are incredible.
Yeah.
How they treat you, how you go about your business to plan them, it's really good.
All right, let's talk about some of your guys. Of course, the Witherspoon twins are back this year. They're going to be, it sounds like, 2 of the 3 starters. Malachi was a closer for you last year. You've decided to move him into the starting rotation this season.
Yeah, we changed it up a little bit. Worked on his delivery, continued to evolve over time. I think that was one of the deals that we were trying to do going into last year. I just knew, I had a meeting with him in an exit meeting last fall, and I was like, hey, for us to be really good, I know one of our best pitchers got to pitch at the end of the game. And he was old enough to understand that, and he was really good. And so he evolved over the summer, trying to work into some starting rotations and the summer ball and Team USA, and really worked on his craft throughout the fall. I mean, they're true professionals in what they do. I mean, from 10-minute working in the mirror drills to how they eat, how they go about their business. It's been really fun to watch how they've evolved.
Here's a look at Kyson Witherspoon, who had a great year for you last year and really exploded onto the scene. Sounds like he's going to be your number one guy going into the season this year.
Yeah, I mean, he's got poise, he's got composure. A lot of things never seem to bother him. Even though you can kind of see him kind of getting fired up a little bit, you don't see that much in him. Now, Malachi, you got to go, hey, wait a minute. We had a meeting yesterday. Hey, wait a minute. You're going to have to really calm yourself down. You can't look at the other dugout and do some of the things you did last year, or they'll throw you out of the game in the SEC.
One of the transfers you got is Cam Johnson from LSU, a lefty who was extremely highly recruited coming out of high school. He had a little bit of trouble last year, maybe locating at times, but this guy's got a chance to be special, doesn't he?
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, it's no different than getting a guy, and sometimes they come in our program and it just doesn't fit. I mean, you walk out there and you're fronting, you pitched in high school, and all of a sudden you get in front of 15,000 people and you do really good, and really you're focusing on those guys managing themselves in that environment. And sometimes it takes a little bit longer for a young man to do that, even though he's really talented. And so you teach them how to do it one pitch at a time, and they've got to really practice it. And he's done a great job this fall. And I'm not saying there's not going to be bumps in the road. There's going to be bumps in the road. And we just got to make sure that bumps in the road don't take any away their confidence. No different than yesterday. I'm sitting there, and at the end of practice, I mean, it's cold. Played 9 innings against each other. Dawson Willits makes 4 or 5 outstanding plays in the field. I mean, turns a double play off his belly, but he hits one ball hard. He moves the guy over. He strikes out once and maybe pops up. And I go, hey, Dawson, you think you had a good day? And he's like, no, I didn't have a good day because the only thing you focus on is offense. But you've done this, and this. You got to reward yourself. I mean, Cam Johnson throws a pitch 95, and it's paint down and away. I mean, right on the outside corner, and Horton hits it into left field. He made his pitch, and reward yourself. If you reward yourself, you're not going to lose confidence over it. And it's about building their confidence. A confident player can do amazing things.
One guy that maybe isn't being talked about as much going into the year is Cade Crossland, though. This is another big pickup for you that has a chance to be a big part of the rotation this year.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, Cade Crossland was really a good pitcher out of Weatherford Junior College. That's where Coach Butler found him. I call Coach Butler the bird dog, and he got in there and got him here, and so it really helped. I mean, he had a little setbacks with some injuries in the fall, so we shut him down. And he threw one inning the other day, was really electric. And I think once we start getting him built up, he's going to get better and better with every outing.
When you talk about your bats, let's start with Easton Carmichael. He had a tremendous offseason in the Cape for you, your catcher.
Yeah, he hit over 300 in the Cape, was the All-Star in the Cape All-Star game, and MVP of the All-Star game, and got a lot better. I mean, he really threw the ball yesterday, is good, and caught the ball yesterday in inter-squad. So I think we're ready to play somebody else. I mean, I really believe that. So it was really fun. We just got to figure out who's going to hit in front of him and who's going to hit behind him, you know, and Reggie Willits will find that out.
Yeah, and Jackson Willits got a pretty good chance to be one of those guys. Boy, he came on second half of the season last year, gave you 10 home runs, all in the second half of the season, and provided maybe more pop than people realized he had in his bat. But this is, again, a really special young talent for you.
I think that Jackson's no different than any freshman. We kept running him out there, and he got a little bit better and a little bit better and a little bit better and got comfortable. And I'll never forget this. He was struggling. I put my arm around him. It's like, you're not coming off shortstop. Just go play. Just go play and have fun. He got a game-winning hit that day against Nebraska. And just got to keep plowing at it. I think his last month, he was one of our best hitters.
I agree.
And this summer, he had a really good Cape, hit over 300, and he'll continue to get better and better. Got married this summer, so it's really good.
All right, some of the new guys. You mentioned Dawson Willis. Willis probably going to be at third base, which is going to be a nightmare for me because I got Willis and Willits on the left side of the infield. But Dawson Willis, it was the Division II National Defensive Player of the Year last year. You mentioned how good he is with a glove, too. Tall third baseman for you.
Yeah, once you get around him and watch him take batting practice and how he goes about his business, and I know he's not Derek Jeter, and I know he's not Peyton Graham, but he'll remind you of him.
I get that.
How they
visually, he kind of looks like Peyton.
So what we do in baseball as baseball coaches, we look at a player and go, that guy reminds me of Ivan Rodriguez. So that guy reminds me of, his delivery reminds me of Roger Clemens or somebody like that. And that's kind of what we do as coaches. And I'm not saying those guys are going to be those guys, but I can tell you this, his mannerisms and how he holds the bat and how he goes about his business will kind of remind you of those guys.
Another guy that will catch your eye, I think, Sooner fans this weekend is Dayton Talkie. Big kid, first baseman, I believe. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but it looks like he's bringing some power to the lineup.
Yeah, he's got some power, and he's a really good bat-to-ball guy. I mean, he can really put the bat to ball anywhere. It's kind of like Yogi Berra. I mean, he's a bad ball hitter. So that's what's great about Talkie.
You got a freshman too named Kyle Branch, whose brother plays at Georgia, one of their best players.
Yeah.
Looks like he's got a chance to play right away.
He's played really well through the fall and the spring. He's mature, can really play defense. If he understands his role, I mean, that's the biggest thing as we talk about is like, hey, just do what you do, you know, and play defense. You're like a spark plug in an engine. If you try to do something different than what you do, the spark plug is going to foul out, and it's not going to run right. And so that's what we talk about, you know, as we go through this. And you know, it's I had this conversation with them last week. I said, everybody's my friend. We're playing the inter squad. You're getting to play every day. But Friday we're going to make the lineup, and your role is to pull for your teammate. Yeah. And it's going to be difficult for some of them.
Sure. They've been used to their name being in the lineup their whole life. Second baseman, right, for Kyle Branch. And then the outfield, it's hard to imagine you could have a faster outfield than you had last year, but you just might with Jason Walk in center field and Deshaun Harris out there, and these guys can fly in the outfield.
Yeah, Deshaun's kind of, you know, he was a walk-on. He kind of grew up in our program. He's got developed, and he had a really good fall and a really good early spring. Jason Walk is Jason Walk. I mean, he can do a lot of things on a baseball field. A lot of people can't. He kind of reminds me of a young man that played for me, and I get really emotional about it. And that guy named Brian Coe that passed away in 2001, probably one of the best athletes I've ever coached. And I did coach a Heisman Trophy winner and a first-round draft pick.
Is that right?
Yeah. And so Brian Coe is probably one of the best athletes I've ever coached. And Walk reminds me a lot of Brian Coe at times.
Yeah.
And then you got Sam Christensen, you got Kane. Sam's really I mean, that guy might be in the lineup all the time. I mean, he's had a really good understanding it. He had an injury in junior college and played through the fall with it, and it's gotten better and better and better, and he's been really good.
One other guy I want to ask you about, and then we're going to look at your schedule, is a guy, Kyler Murray, is who he was referring to, by the way, if you didn't know. But there's another football player, a couple of them that are playing for you this year, but most notably Taylor Tatum, who had, I believe, 4 touchdowns this fall for the football team. How's he looking so far? Swinging the bat.
He's getting better and better and understanding our culture and how we go about our business. He hit a double the other day, and you kind of could see it. Mm-hmm. He's fighting a little patellar tendonitis a little bit, and so he's played a little bit, set a little bit, played a little bit, but he's got to do that catch-up, man. I mean, it's a difficult thing. In baseball, you can't just roll out of bed and be great, you know, and he's working extremely hard at it. Football's been good about that, and so and James Nesta's too. Yeah, Nesta's a defensive end. Yeah, he's a pitcher, and so those guys like that. Nesta's actually gotten a lot better. I mean, he was 90, 93. He was 87, 90 last year.
Wow.
So we'll see how that transforms as we get longer down the road.
It's a fun combination. He's a linebacker, defensive end in football, and a pitcher in baseball. You don't see that combination very often. Let's take a look at the schedule here out of the blocks, brought to you by the Trails Golf Club. There you see Lehigh Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 4 o'clock Friday, 2 o'clock Saturday, 11 a.m. Sunday. We're all crossing our fingers that it'll be warm enough that we can make it through 9 innings. And then down to Globe Life Field Tuesday night against UT Arlington. Coach, I know before we let you go, season tickets are through the roof. The most season tickets that have ever been sold in advance. The park's looking great. You got more chairbacks this year. Fans are really fired up to see your squad play, and I know you're excited about that.
Well, I'm just thankful that they bought season tickets, and more so than I'm really thankful for the support. I mean, I can't say thank you enough. The kids, it matters to the kids. It matters when even when they're doing bad on Twitter or anything. If you can have a positive comment versus a negative comment, it really helps our mental game. I mean, and it helps their confidence. You know, it really does. If you're always beating them up, I mean, they're not going to be confident. It's going to be, I'll be in the clubhouse trying to build them back up. And it's a game of opportunity. It's not a game of failure. You can go 0 for 5 or you can go 5 for 5. That's what's great about baseball. It is the national pastime.
Yeah.
And so it's an unforgiving game, and it develops your character, and it reveals your character.
Hey, how much fun was the Diamond Dinner on Saturday night? Big Jake Irvin came back and everything?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Jake's you know what's really incredible about Jake is how I wished everybody in Sooner Nation could have heard what he said about what the University of Oklahoma and the baseball program did for him, not as a pitcher, but as a man. Mm-hmm. That was really more special than anything, how it made him understand how to go about his business. And it was an incredible message to our whole team.
He's having a great career, too. He's going to be in the rotation again this year for the Washington Nationals. Just a tremendous young man. I can't wait. I'm giddy for Friday to get here in a new college baseball season and take the journey with you and your squad,
I appreciate
Coach.
it.
Skip Johnson, everybody. Baseball season gets underway on Friday. We'll take a break. Aaron Mansfield going to be here. We're going to talk some volleyball when we come back here on Sooner Sports Talk.
Log on to Soonersports.com/kids for information about joining the Sooner Kids Club presented by OG&E and brought to you in part by Orthodontics exclusively, Mathis Home, and Devon Energy. The best place to gear up for game day is shop.Soonersports.com.
All right, welcome back, everybody. We're talking volleyball now as we welcome in the head coach of the Sooners, coming off a great season, an NCAA tournament trip, Aaron Mansfield. Hi, Coach.
How you doing?
I'm great. How are you tonight?
Doing great.
It's great to see you here. I am in dad mode, fully immersed in club volleyball season right now, so this is great to have you here.
Nice.
I can't get enough volleyball in my life.
I don't envy you for that, being in the middle of that.
As long as you didn't bring me another bill to pay.
No,
that seems like what everything that's going on.
You got plenty of those going on with club volleyball.
Hey, congratulations. What a tremendous year you had last year, back in the NCAA tournament, into the second round of the tournament for the first time in over a decade for OU. Just a great year.
Yeah, you know, the first season was really just about establishing, like we talked about, a progressive style of play, a culture, full rebuild. And it's the second school I've been at that we've been kind of playing this style of volleyball. And what I learned the first kind of go around with it is usually takes about a year to get these systems intact and have the players have a really good understanding of how it all kind of works together. And the spring that we got leading up to this past season in the fall was really important for us. It was 4 months of a group that could actually play 6-on-6 volleyball against each other every single day, and we made some really big strides in that spring, and really started to see that we could be really competitive in the fall, and had a good preseason, and then opened up conference play. It was a bit of a buzzsaw. We opened up with Florida and Kentucky and Tennessee, and there was no easy games in the SEC, but got tested early and responded really well. And one of the big things for our program was the players really started to believe that we were good, and that we could compete with really any team when we played our style of volleyball. And that message really just came from us for a long time, and we just kind of got blank stares for a long time that, hey, we're good and we can be in it with anyone.
Was it the Tennessee win that kind of kicked it in?
That certainly helped, but oddly enough, it was we went to Kentucky, and they were ranked in the top 10 at the time, and we lost in 5. Yeah. Real tough match. We played great, and just the vibe and the conversation in the locker room, it was really player-led and player-driven, and it was, hey, we're here. And even though we lost the match and losing stings, but it was just, we beat Tennessee, which was obviously, it was our first ranked win in, I think, 10 years. We lost in a 5-set really close match to Florida. We were up 9-3 in the 5th set, and you play the 5th set to 15 and didn't close it out. But we knew we were playing really good volleyball against some top 10 teams, and so it was really it felt like after that Kentucky match, the team really started to just look around and see what we had and what we've built and continue to build. So that was a really cool moment for us. And then from there, we played some really consistent volleyball throughout the year, and we were playing our best volleyball towards the end of the year, which is always the goal. Can you stay healthy?
Sure.
Can you get better? And we did both those things.
This segment brought to you, by the way, by Taco Mayo. The win at Texas was the one that everybody, I think they knew, hey, I think Oklahoma's pretty good. And then you won that. People started really paying attention to.
Yeah, what a special win. I mean, to do it on their home floor, and again, first time we beat them in 10 years, and to do it there was really special. Great volleyball environment. At the time, they were back-to-back national champs, and I was really emotional game for a lot of reasons, obviously. But what was really special was just the players that stuck around and have been kind of yearning for a win like this. It was just really special for them, and got a couple players from Texas. And so, that match meant a ton to our program, obviously.
Let's talk a little about that trip to the NCAA tournament. You guys got sent to Penn State, but you opened with a match against UTEP. And first off, what a thrill it must have been to Pitt, excuse me. And you guys, just a thrill to be in the tournament, but they came to play for you too.
Yeah, UTEP was a really scrappy team, had a couple really good international players on their team, and we hadn't played a match in 10 days leading up to our opening round match. And so the first 2 sets were not our style and was a little sloppy, but we really settled in and played really good 3 sets from there. And to get a reverse sweep anytime is pretty special. So winning that match in 5 sets was great. And then obviously Pitt was the #1 team at the time in the country.
You played them tough.
We played them tough. We had a chance to win the first set there. And if you can do that, if you can win the first set and just kind of put some pressure on them, because there wasn't a lot of teams that were able to put pressure on Pitt pretty much the whole year. And we did that the first set. We blocked 17 balls in 3 sets, which is unheard of. We're a top 5 team in the country blocking this year, and their opposite was the sophomore, but she was a player of the year, and we held her to a very low hitting percentage because of our defense. And so, again, just felt really good about going to an environment like that, being ourselves, playing our style of volleyball that the players have worked so hard to kind of cultivate, and had some really special moments against them.
Top 5 in the country in blocks, #1 in the SEC in blocks per game this year. You've mentioned, by the way, you don't have to say you went 5 sets. Every match went 5 sets for you. Have you ever played so many 5-set matches in your life?
Yeah, shout out to our strength coach. Yeah, did a great job Yeah, keeping our players ready to play a lot of volleyball. Yeah, for whatever reason, we just really like to drag it out. I think what you see with this, again, this progressive style of play like we've talked about, is when it's going and it's all clicking on all cylinders, it's a really hard offense to stop.
Yeah.
And then on the defensive side of the ball, we put a lot of pressure on teams to be able to score points. And then when it's not clicking, it really allows the other team to kind of get some momentum. And so it was just kind of this, our highs were pretty high and our lows were low at times. And so, but what we found is throughout the season, we really steadied out and got way more consistent with our play.
So try to put it into layman's terms for us, your style of play, because you think football, you think the spread offense, or basketball, the full court pressure, whatever the case may be. What is it that you guys are doing volleyball-wise that's maybe different from the norm?
Yeah, offensively, I think the first thing I think of is speed.
Mm-hmm.
We kind of like Chip Kelly being an offensive coordinator at Oregon about 10 years ago, but just, how fast can you play? And speed can put a lot of pressure on defenses. And so offensively, we play with a lot of speed, and then defensively, we take a lot of chances. And so we refer to calculated risk a lot. And instead of just kind of defending the court evenly, we have a lot of data and analytics. Brian Thornton, our associate head coach, is I think the best in the country at anticipating and scouting what teams are going to want to do against us and how we want to counter that. And so we take a lot of chances. And so, again, it's kind of like both offensively and defensively, it's a high-risk, high-reward system. And when it's going, it's tough to stop.
Okay, so you say playing with speed on offense, but, you got to dig, you got to set, you got to kill. How do you do that faster? How do you play with speed compared to what would normally happen?
Yeah, it's a good point. Well, first off, if you want to play with speed, you got to have the setter to do it. And, I thought we had the best setter in the conference.
Peyton Chamberlain?
Peyton Chamberlain, what a stud. And she didn't get the accolades that she deserved, I thought, after the season, which, we nominate the coach's vote, but I think they missed that big time because she was the most gifted setter I've coached. And so in order to play fast, you got to have a setter who can locate the ball accurately because again, when it's not clicking, it's not clicking. And so, from a passing standpoint, we didn't have to pass the ball perfect in order to run our offense. And so anytime your passers don't feel like they need to be perfect, but they just need to be good, that takes a lot of pressure off them.
That's because Peyton was so good.
Peyton was really good, and so she could take a pass that was 15 feet off the net and still set the middle of the court or set the ball fast to the pins. And so, but what it takes too is it takes the attackers really sometimes a couple months or even a year to get used to the speed. Hitting a ball that's coming at you faster from the setter is a skill in itself, and you got to kind of learn how to do that. And that's what I'm saying. That's part of the system of it takes about a year, and that's one of the things is the hitters getting used to hitting a ball that's gets to them quicker, and then the setter getting used to, hey, what does this shape look like, and how can I set my hitters from different parts of the court, and just can't say enough of how good Peyton was for us.
So the set, instead of kind of having the looping arch, it's a little more of a line drive.
Exactly.
And teams aren't used to that.
Which gives the defense a lot less time to organize themselves to try to defend the court is kind of the concept. And so there's a lot of small nuances within the offense that are progressive as well. But, in layman's terms, it's the speed that we try to play with.
Is this a common style? Or fairly abnormal?
Internationally, yes.
Okay.
Especially on the men's side. And, I played collegiately and professionally, and so did my associate head coach. He played in the Olympics. And so we study the game at the highest level possible, and we take bits and pieces from whether it's Brazil's offense or Italy's defense or whatever it is, and create a system around it. And so, Brian has done an excellent job of taking his creativity that he has as a coach, and we collaborate very closely on how we want to have our team play the game.
Tell you, it's fun to watch. That's for sure. You could tell opponents are a little baffled by it for a while, too.
Yeah, we like that.
All right, we'll squeeze in a timeout. I want to ask you about Alexis Shelton, who had an incredible year for you, and maybe some of the faces we can expect to see this year. Aaron Mansfield's with us. We got Porter Moser coming up soon as well here at Rudy's. Stay with us.
The Huddle is brought to you by Taco Mayo. Big appetite, bigger savings. Download and save today. Air Comfort Solutions, your total home solution for plumbing, heating, air conditioning, and electrical. Make the winning call today.
Welcome back to Rudy's, everyone. We're talking volleyball with Aaron Mansfield, Sooners head coach. Year one of the SEC is in the books for you. What did you think of your new neighborhood this year?
A lot of really fun volleyball environments to play in. Yeah, really different. Each school was really different. I hadn't been on any campus in the SEC before this year, so we went to about half. And again, Kentucky was a really special environment. We set some records with our attendance this past year. We had a single-season attendance record.
McCaslin was rocking.
McCaslin was rocking. We really created a really nice home court advantage for ourselves, and can't thank the community for coming out and supporting. And we sold out the Texas match. That was the largest single-season match that we've had in history. And again, the players, we put a better product out on the court this year. Obviously, we were more competitive, but you could see the joy that they were playing with too. They were a fun team to watch and a fun team to coach.
All right, let's talk about some of your ladies. Alexis Shelton, first team All-SEC, just an incredible season, and she's back next year.
Yeah, she. Our first season, she played a 6-rotation outside hitter, which is, I think it's the hardest position to play because you're tasked with all of the skills. And she kind of did it by necessity, meaning we had to kind of keep her out there, and she just kind of learned by doing. And then when I talked about this spring and how important that was for our team and their development, the first person to come to mind was Alexis and how much better she got over the spring, especially on the ball control side of things, and passing and serving. You watch her play, and what you notice is how high she jumps and how hard she hits. But being a 6-rotation outside demands you to play defense and control the ball, and she just made some really big strides in the spring. And so she was poised to have a nice season. And she played through some pain, some injuries, and things like that. But what's most impressive about Lex is how consistent she showed up to the gym every single day this past season, and that didn't necessarily happen the year before that. And when an athlete is that consistent and invested in her own craft of getting better, you match that with her athleticism and her competitiveness and her drive. It all was just a really good combination of someone, earning first-team All-SEC, second-team All-American. She's had a tremendous season for us, and she continues to get better, which is really fun for us.
In my unofficial rankings, top 5 electric athlete on campus.
Yeah, absolutely.
Alexis Shelton. She is unbelievable to watch.
Yeah, she's a human highlight reel. She does stuff in our gym literally every single day where the players just kind of stop and the coaches kind of stop, and it's these whoa moments, and she just strings them together. And
what's her vertical?
I'm not sure. I'd say probably close to 30, low 30s, 32. I mean, I think she touches.
It looks like she's jumping on a trampoline when she takes off.
I think she can touch 10-6 maybe, so 6 inches above the rim. She's a really nice athlete, and again, continues to not just grow on the court, but just as a person, which is the most important thing, obviously, as they learn through sport, and has really found her voice as a leader, and that's going to be really important for us in the fall. Peyton
Chamberlain, your setter, had a tremendous career, but she has graduated, so what are you going to do at that position next year?
Yeah, we right when we got the job here, we started recruiting in Canada. We wanted to just kind of broaden our scope, and the Canadian development program for volleyball has really improved over the last probably 10 years or so. And so we went up there and found a setter, Avea Mega, and she's a starting setter for the junior national team for Canada. And so she joined us. She's here now. She joined us early. She graduated early and started training with us 3 weeks ago. And she's 17 years old, and she conducts herself like a professional athlete. She's all into recovery and learning and watching video, and she's going to be really good, and we're really excited to have her. And the setting position, as we know, is so important. And when you have someone who it's a quarterback, and when you have someone who wants to be a student of the game and believes in what we're building here and how we're doing it, means a lot for anybody on our team, but especially in the setting position.
Running short on time here a little bit, but you got any other transfer portal pickups?
Yeah. we got Kennedy Patterson, a 6'4" middle blocker from Pepperdine.
Wow.
And then Diani Fraga, and who's a libero from Fresno State. She was 2-time libero of the year in that conference in the Mountain West.
Nice.
So we added some really good ball control and defense and some size in the middle. And then having Avea join us in January and returning people like KJ Burgess and Camille Gibson, you know, and a lot of others. That our gym is competitive right now. It's fun.
What was your challenge percentage? Success percentage last year? I know you know the answer to this.
A little over 50, yeah. I did.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought it was better than that.
Yeah.
It felt like you got every one of them.
Yeah, we. I really. I'm kind of a hawkeye for nets. I'm constantly looking at net just to see if anybody's netting. So, most of the time when I see it, it happens. The in-out stuff is a little bit harder, especially when it happens on the other side of the court. And then the touch stuff, you got
to trust your players.
You got to trust the players. So we have a very clear message in practice or in the match. Like if we ask you if you touch it, you got to be honest because it could cost us a point.
I felt like it's like 80%. Watching it felt like if Aaron challenges it, we're getting this point.
I challenge it when I think I see something else. I use it as a glorified timeout at times. So.
Well, I mean, it's so exciting. Last year, you guys really came together and, like I said, got back to the NCAA tournament. Feels like there's momentum in the program. There's momentum in the fan base. It's an exciting time to be a fan of OU volleyball.
Yeah, it really is. And again, can't thank the community enough for coming out and supporting. And our players really felt it. You know, I just remember many times in the locker room after the match, after the matches at home, and just the excitement of how far a lot of them have come at being in the program for 3 or 4 years and seeing it grow and being a part of that growth process. And the vibe and energy in our gym right now is just different. So it's awesome.
Thanks for being here tonight, bud. Appreciate it. Aaron Mansfield, we'll be back to wrap up the huddle right after this. Stay with us.
Thank you to our Cornerstone television partners, OU Health, OG&E, Fowler Auto Group, and Coca-Cola.
Well, thanks to Skip Johnson and Aaron Mansfield for joining us tonight. And congratulations to Jalen Hurts and Lane Johnson of the world champion Philadelphia Eagles. When we come back, we'll be joined by Porter Moser. We're talking basketball next on Sooner Sports Talk. Stay with us.
The OU Huddle has been brought to you by Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue, bringing you the best in real Texas barbecue. Walden Cleaners and Laundry, where the difference is quality. And by Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation on the Sooner Sports Network.